I'm a cyclist and I live in the Pennines, and welcome to my channel. On today's ride, we cycle to Harrogate. But where is Harrogate? Well, Harrogate is a spa town in North Yorkshire, and it's in the east of the Dales National Park. It's also hosted the Tour de France and the Tour de Yorkshire. Not forgetting the UCI World Road Cycling Championships in 2019. And this ride today was over 110 miles, with some pretty hefty climbing. Looking at the parkour on the route profile there, this was going to be a challenge. We actually climbed over 7,700 feet in elevation gain. The wind was going to be a factor, as it was a northerly, which meant for a headwind on the outward leg. And our destination today was the Prologue Cafe, which is a proper cyclist cafe. Now, things didn't go quite to plan from the start today, with one of the guys having a puncture more or less on mile 0. So not knowing this, I decided to go for a ride down my local valley towards Hebden Bridge, thinking, oh well, I've missed the guys today. And the problem was, his tyres were so tight to get back on the rims. And then I bumped into Mark, who you can see here, who told me that they were running late and that they were en route. So you're joining us now on the summit of Cockhill between Hebden Bridge and Haworth. And this was going to be a pretty interesting descent. So here I am now coming through there. We got Chris taking the lead with the guys just ahead. And we've got a car ahead, which is going to cause us some problems to catch up with the guys. And because of the wind, this was not a super fast descent. It was just going to be difficult with any side winds. So here you can see now, the car's braking heavily, it's caught up with the group, and Chris decides to go for it. He puts his hand out to acknowledge we're coming through as well and says thank you to the car, and then we come through. So there's Mark on the left just passing him. And Mark suffered with a puncture earlier on. Here we are now passing Owen on the left. Then that looks like Mike, Andy, there's Lee, and there's the other Mark on his new nice little Dogma. We're all coming through. The maximum speed down this descent was about 35-36 miles per hour. Looking at the cadence there, we're not working flat out, we're just trying to carry the pace down this nice straight section. Chris is now tucked in. I've got to put quite a lot of effort to get past, and then I will tuck in there, go to the front and give Chris a break. I'm now freewheeling, tucking in, looking over my shoulder to see where we're up to. We've got a left-hand bend approaching. Again, this is around 35 miles per hour. And with the right conditions, this can be a super fast descent. But today, it was hard going. We've got a nice right-hander approaching. There comes Mark and Chris following through, keeping the pace really nice. And look how that gap quickly grows. I'm freewheeling, I can hold the gap there. Knowing we've got a right-hander and quite a serious big left-hand bend, not too far down the road. At this point here you'll start to be braking, be mindful of a serious left-hander. There comes Andy. And the tarmac here is quite smooth, and sometimes I'm not too keen on a smooth tarmac surface. I feel like the bike wants to go away from you. Out of the saddle, keep on the pedals, take a right-hander, carrying some really good pace here. And a left-hander, I keep it wide there until the final moment and I can cut straight into the apex. And we're all strung out in a nice line. This was a really nice descent at this point. Again, I must stress, if you want to ride down hills quickly, make sure you know what your abilities are, and make sure you've got a good bike that can handle these kind of speeds. You've got good brakes, good tyres, and if anything, you've got some knowledge of the road ahead. Well, I hope you enjoyed that descent as much as we did. It's really windy. The wind will be a factor today on this ride. Strong northeasterlies. So it's going to be a headwind all the way out. Hopefully a nice tailwind on the way back. I've done 27 miles and we're on the outskirts of Keighley and Haworth is behind me. And so here we are now on the descent of the B6429, which leads us into Bingley. Now this was quite a nice little peach of a descent. Nice left-handers, right-handers, switchbacks everywhere. I mean, Andy there, a bit naughty, crossing double white lines. But as you can see, this was nice. It wasn't super quick, it was just technical, flowing. I really enjoyed this little descent. There comes Mark on the inside, coming through. That was a nice line taken, and he did give me a shout as we approached the River Aire. Right, we're at the back with Mark. And Mark's had a few punctures, so we're a bit delayed today.
Just a few.
How was it, Mark? Really tight?
Shocking, mate.
Tyres, can't get them off or on.
Couldn't get them on. Everybody couldn't get them off.
So I can sense Mike getting in on the action here.
He's not coming again, he. Would have been in Harrogate by now if it weren't for him, innit?
Anyway, we're going to Harrogate today. That's the plan. Through West Yorkshire into North Yorkshire. And then shortly after, in between Shiplet and Yeadon, at 37 miles, we had another puncture. Oh, race radio, race radio. We've got a puncture, another puncture. Well, them tyres are tight, super tight. What are they? Are they GP 5000?
GP 5000's super tight.
Woof.
As tight as a...
Well, we'll think about that. Let's pause for a thought.
Tight as a camel's ass in a sandstorm.
And shortly after the repair, we were passed by an e-biker. Well, some big fella on an e-bike just passed all of us. That won't go down well. E-bike. I have to cut that one out.
Nah, they're not really.
I've still got to cut it out though, although yeah,
Scrub that.
he's retracting his statement, we've still got to cut it out.
That other e-bike's amazing. I wish I had one.
No, I'm cutting that out. Okay, we're 40 miles into the ride and we're going to go under the airport runway for Leeds and Bradford. What's that grid? I'm that grid. Sounds like Mike. He needs his medication. And having left Yeadon behind us and crossing over the River Wharfe, we took a right off the A658 onto a fantastic little country back lane that headed towards the hamlet of Castley. And as you can see here, the roads really are nice. This is a classic cycling lane in rural North Yorkshire. Okay, we've got off the busy main roads now. On a nice quiet back lane, we're actually in North Yorkshire. 46 miles into the ride. I think Harrogate's about 9 or 10 miles away. And then I had to stop all of a sudden because of a problem. Very good call by the guys. I've got grass on my rear mech. And we don't want that, do we? So, look at this place. We're in beautiful rural North Yorkshire. The sun's come out. I'm getting warm. Now that little stop there, it took me about 3 miles to close that gap down. And here you can see Lee just bring me back onto the peloton. That was really tough going. Okay, this is Harrogate. What a beautiful town it is.
A beautiful town.
There's another echo.
Yeah, well, this is Harrogate. Beautiful town.
Now the architecture around this town is absolutely stunning, and if anything it reminds me of Llandudno, but without the sea. Well, here's the cafe and it looks busy. It must be one of them classic cycling cafes. Is the room at the end?
There's a bench there.
Well, we're in the cafe, Mike. What are you watching, Mike?
TDF? He's in his element watching it, having a brew and watching this. We've got to bear in mind it's the rule of 6 in it as well today. So there's 4 here, the rule of 6. There's 4 of us here, there's 2 of us there and 2 of us outside. We need a flapjack.
Now Mike's attention was glued to the telly because it was the Tour de France. I'd never seen him so quiet.
Well, if you go to the top and then turn right, then it takes you down to Beckwith. So follow the road round to left.
Okay, it's time to hit the road again and work our way out of Harrogate. But we're a good cafe as well. Really tasty sandwich and a nice flapjack. It's called Prologue. And with a bit of luck, we'll have a tailwind all the way home, or it should be in our favour. It could be a 60-mile leg return section, and I've got 55 miles on my computer already. Well, it's warmed up, and we're all back in a bunch because we split up then.
We're lost.
And we're trying to get a signal on the sat-nav.
No wind's in charge. And we're lost.
We're using Garmin's to navigate, but they're a bit lazy when we need to go left or right. So, always rechecking what route it is. Well, the general consensus is we're on great tarmac. Really nice and smooth, long straight road. We're doing about 17 miles an hour, but the average speed's not right on here because of the trees. It takes the GPS signal away a bit. And we can hear our wheels because the wind's in our favour. Okay, we're near Menwith Hill with all the golf balls on the horizon. Try and get a shot. Okay, we're about to reach the summit of Blubber Houses. There's a few splits, but we'll all regroup shortly.
And having crested the summit, it was all downhill. So here we are on what is known as Keckskill Road on the A59, and we're heading towards Summerscales with Blubber Houses behind us, and we're 70 miles in. And on this section of road we were all strung out in a long line and the pace was really high. We were comfortably cruising at 37-38 miles per hour, hitting 40 miles per hour for long sections on this road. It's not super downhill here, it was the wind. We had a true tailwind. We're in our biggest gears just pedalling along, and it was a fantastic feeling. And all you could hear was the noise of the road and your wheels. There's Mark looking over, and watch shortly, he'll give me an elbow, which means he's coming through. And here we are now further on down the road. I'd actually gone to the front and passed all the guys at over 48 miles per hour. I couldn't believe how fast we were going. This section here is called the A59 Bomb, and we were all absolutely on it. I think we've got top 10s on Strava on this section, and we were actually matching the pace of some professional riders. But this was all down to that fantastic tailwind. Along here now, this is 46, 47 miles per hour, and as it levels out, we still carried 45 miles per hour. And at these speeds, you just got to keep in line, tuck in and be as aero as possible. We're approaching Bolton Bridge here. So I'm now just behind Owen and a few other guys are ahead, and I think Mike's on my wheel. Now this section here does drop again a bit more. You can see the guys ahead quite clearly. Owen's freewheeling. Some cyclists there on the right, they must have heard the noise of our bikes coming down there. And you can see the escape lanes were clearly marked on this road for cars in case their brakes should fail. That was a great feeling coming down there for sure.
Wow, that were high speed then. Super quick. Doing about 48 mile an hour there. 45 easy. Whoa. How was that, Mike?
Oh, brilliant.
That was,
yeah, that was good fun.
that was like
the king of downhill.
So here we are now, continuing down the A59, heading towards Skipton. Now, I'd been on empty with my water bottle for the last 25 miles or so, and I really needed a drink. At one stage, I raised my bottle up in the air for the imaginary team car that never appeared. And I was saying to some of the guys, I really need a drink. And so I had to make the call for myself to peel off and go to Skipton.
Right, well, I've just peeled off from the peloton there. I've had no water since Harrogate, so I need a drink. And it's very busy in Skipton. Well, we were coming down the 59 and you get a few exits to go into Skipton, different local routes, and I just thought we were going to stop there for a refuel because I needed it. And then we got to one of the roundabouts and they kind of went on the bypass, it looked like to me, so I've peeled off. I've got to look after myself right now because I was going over a bit there. Been a good ride though so far. Done nearly 80 miles and there's about 25 to get back. Oh.
I actually had to lie down on the grass there for a few moments just to gather my thoughts, and the route back was going to be via Keighley and back over Cockhill into Hebden Bridge, which then completed the loop you can see on the map.
Okay, this section now, the mini roundabout, completes almost 91 miles, so we're going to go right and we're going to head up now over towards Cockhill and Haworth. Yeah, and to be honest, I'm feeling it now. This has been a proper tough one, this. So this next climb is the climb we came over between Hebden Bridge and Haworth. I think the guys have gone back via Burnley and Colne. Stay with. Okay, this is Hebden Bridge. It's busy, busy, busy. And we've done 100 miles.
And as I rode down the valley back to my local village, by the time I got home, I needed a really nice fresh pint. And that hit the spot. And the total distance was 115 miles on this occasion. And with October just around the corner, there won't be that many nice warm days left to come.
Yes, it's our friend Mark again. 4 flat. Please don't come again.
We can't film here, can we? Nature breaks. Near a bloody main road as well.
Get arrested.
Yeah, no shame on there. We're 36 miles into the ride. We just passed through Otley.
Yes.
And we're heading towards Leeds and Bradford Airport.
We've not had 16 punctures and we've got a table there, we'd have been in the Alright guys.
Hiya.
What would you like guys?
We don't know yet. We're going to find somewhere to sit first for food.
Is that when you're booking days?
No. Is this a different property, this? Is this the same premises, all this? Oh right, that's a different property. Is it more of a pub that side?
You've got any tables there?